when you're putting a team together that it's really important that you understand what you are trying to achieve. Okay. Are you trying to achieve custody? Are you trying to achieve reunification? Are you trying to achieve a financial gain from your divorce or whatever you're going through? You really have to know inside yourself what it is that you are looking for. That will determine who you're going to contact in order to put your team together. And, like Chris said, one of the things that is very important is that you do hire an attorney that is very familiar with parental alienation. There are many attorneys out there that say that they understand this process. But when I've talked to many attorneys who say that they do understand what alienation is, they really don't understand it. And they're litigating a lot of these cases as they would other family court cases. And you can't. This is a different beast altogether. So it's important to determine, first of all, what kind of attorney that you want representing you. And I hope that you will do your research and that you will ask the attorney, how many cases have you dealt with in alienation? What do you recommend me doing here? Do you recommend that, we come to a settlement or we go to trial or mediate or collaborate? There's all different ways to do this.
When you're looking for a therapist, you need to be able to ask them, like you said, what is your, what kind of special training have you had in this area? How comfortable are you working in high conflict situations? Because a lot of therapists are really afraid to talk with lawyers. And you have to be able to collaborate together. The whole team has to be able to talk and don't see the lawyer. The therapist doesn't want to see the lawyer as their enemy. No, they're all working together to help this client. I think a lot of people want to choose a therapist because it's on their insurance. And again, I think this is a big mistake because unfortunately, like Sue was saying, there just aren't that many people out there that specialize in this and they want to take that shortcut. And I think that can dramatically impact your ability to have a successful outcome.
Therapists are oftentimes the burr in my saddle more times than not, and I probably wouldn't want to be a therapist on a case that I'm involved in. I don't fault therapists for saying no, I'm not going to get involved in a custody case. One of the things that I think is critical to this conversation is that not every therapist recognizes the legitimacy of alienation as a real issue. And right. That's a kind of an overarching theme to the whole topic, is whether or not the professional recognizes it as a legitimate issue. The next issue that I've seen is that therapists by their nature are bent toward validating the child's statements, and they're there to validate and to address whatever the child is expressing. They take, and they'll tell you under oath, I'm not there to question what the child is telling me. And so they become a voice of confirmation for whatever that child is expressing, whether it's a valid expression or not. And so if you add a therapist to the mix in the middle of the process, you're just creating another validating voice for whatever that child is feeling. And maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but in the mix of custody litigation, that's problematic.